Welcome to Soltron. This is the video review for APC Toys Giant Hammer. And you can see this guy is like firmly Voyager sized. And here's a look at the box he came in. So it comes with some interesting character art, like some fan art. And that's about it. There's not much going on with this box. And here's a 360 view of this guy, and he looks pretty great from every angle. I really like how these back tires become the wings. He just comes together pretty well. A weakness of this figure is that he doesn't peg in together very well, unlike the new Legacy figures, which feel more solid. This guy does feel like things will come untabbed pretty easily. But you can see he looks a lot different than his new update. And one thing the APC Toys really nailed here is the light piping. I mean, just look at how they did this. I have no idea how this is so much better than anything we've really seen from Hasbro. It's only got this like little slot. I just don't understand how you get such expressive lit up eyes from this. Like, it looks like it's being lit up. It's just really well done. So that's a really good selling point right there. But yeah, here's a good look at this guy. And of course, compared to his update, this guy's just a lot more blocky. The head sculpts are pretty similar, but there's some differences there as well. And then the coloration is obviously a lot different. This guy's like a more yellow green, whereas this guy's just like a army green, I guess. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of differences. This character doesn't really communicate what Bulkhead actually is. Like, this guy looks like a wrecking ball. But yeah, so in terms of accessories, he comes with this giant hammer, appropriately enough. So it just pegs in here on this, and he can just hold this part of the shaft. He can't hold it from down here, unfortunately. And he's really too wide to really two-hand this thing, but that's one of his accessories. And then this shaft doesn't do anything as far as I know, but this can become like a little claw for his arms. So you can peg that into his fist port, and now he's got this grabby claw, which is pretty cool. So that's a pretty decent accessory. One thing about this guy is he really despises standing up. His heels are just tiny and pointless. So if I keep this guy, I'm definitely going to mod out his heels. And then the other things he comes with is this piece also does nothing, I'm pretty sure. So we just get rid of those two. And then these pieces become his arm cannons. I saw in some product shots, it looks like you can peg these onto his shoulders too, if you wanted to. So they could become like shoulder cannons. I don't know how to do that. It looks like it goes into this tab here, but with these slots, but it doesn't really want to do it. But supposedly it could become shoulder cannons. I don't know how to get them to do it. Let's go ahead and take this off. And then you're going to use this port, and there's a post in there that pegs it on. And there you go, instant arm cannon. So very nice, good implementation, very easy to peg into place. And there you get like two very nicely integrated arm cannons that look pretty devastating. Even though from the front they just look like tires, which I'm not sure. That's kind of a weird choice. I would have preferred they look more like cannons from the front, but anyway, that's what you get. Pretty good looking. They match the character really well. And he comes with more accessories out of the box. So you get this really nice foam insert. And the other things he comes with is he comes with a pair of wrecking balls. So those can be pegged into his fist ports. And that's also a pretty good looking mode for him, where he can just be uppercutting Viacons. So that's pretty good. He comes with these additional bumper pieces. These are for his alt mode, so we'll save those for later. He comes with whatever this girl's name was. So a little tiny stand-in figure for her that he could easily just step on. And he comes with, I think, the Hammer of Solace. So pretty cool. It does rotate, but yeah, really beautifully done accessory. So he definitely is more than a leader class figure in terms of all the accessories he comes with. He just comes with so much. So just throw all those back in his little box. And then for his articulation, he doesn't have wrist swivel. He only has these transformation pivots, unfortunately. He does have a ball joint neck, so you get a lot of expressiveness there, and you can see how good the light piping is. And he does have rotating shoulders, which are on this universal joint, and it does go out all the way as well. He does have bicep swivel on a mushroom peg. He does have more than 90 degrees on the elbow, surprisingly. He does not have waist articulation, which is not too surprising given how he transforms. He does have thigh swivels. He does have double joint knees, so you can get all the knee bend, definitely more than 90 degrees there too. But he unfortunately does not have any toe pivot. And a big part of his problem standing is that these heels are just tiny and useless. So it can be difficult getting him into a standing pose where he doesn't just fall backwards. But yeah, pretty great articulation. I forgot how good these Prime figures were. And a nice thing that this APC Toys does is they put some metal flake into his plastic so he doesn't look so cheap. So he looks a little bit more premium than the standard first edition Bulkhead, I think. So pretty good building materials. He does feel a little bit fiddly at first because I just wasn't used to Transformers Prime figures. I remember they all felt kind of junk for quality, but this guy actually feels pretty good once you play with him a little bit. But yeah, and he's also got this butterfly joint too, I guess. So transformation is pretty difficult for this guy, which is kind of an annoying thing. I really like my figures to be simple, but as far as the legs go, that part's really simple. You just fold in the heels, fold in the toes, and then you just double joint his legs as much as possible so that they're basically collapsed in on themselves. And then you're going to take this crotch piece and just unpeg that. And then you can get these front door sections and start moving those back. And look at, he's got really nice painting in the headlights too, which is really pretty great. And then you can raise up these shoulder pads and get them out of the way, and then start getting his arms are going to end up behind him. So you want these wheel wells, you want those to just hinge right there, so you can see that makes basically the side of the vehicle. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side, just get all the junk out of the way the best you can. So that's the problem with this transformation, is there's just a lot of bits that feel like they clash into each other. And then you're going to raise up this backpack section, and then that will give you the clearance to rotate his head back. So you get a nice flush roof section, and then you're just going to raise that to keep it out of the way. And then you're going to bend his elbows and rotate his arms, because these are going to collapse back here into this configuration. There, so you have his arms there, and then you're going to want to get this rear section out of the way as much as possible as you collapse this to the side of the car. And then you're going to want to work on the bumper. So you want to untab these chest pieces, and I actually had to trim the plastic here, these plastic tabs, because they actually got in the way more than they helped. And then you can get a nice front vehicle mode. So then you're just going to start pegging everything into place. And there's a little notch right there that you're going to want to tab in the wheels to so that they hold securely. And then you can lower this back section, these shoulder pads, and that will let everything just basically nicely tab in. Unfortunately, this piece is very loose. It doesn't tab into these friction pegs very well. And then you just have basically this simple part here, which is pretty nice. You just move the legs up past his little diaper piece. And then you can peg the legs together, and then this whole section right here is just going to slide up, and that slides you basically into the front of his vehicle mode. And there you have just a really beautiful vehicle mode. There's a couple little tabs you can slot into place just to make him a little bit more cohesive, but yeah, really just a very cool looking SUV vehicle that looks pretty great from all angles. And he's got, I like how his little fist pegs become exhaust ports. It's just really cool how this guy transforms, just so well engineered. And then you can see all the extra little paint apps that APC Toys added to this guy just to bring him to life a little bit more. So really well painted, great figure. And then of course you can get these accessory pieces, and this is just going to slot into the front to complete the bumper look. And then this one will just slot into the shoulder pads in the back. And you could get a little bit of paint wear on these, so that's something you're going to need to keep in mind if you put these on often. But there you go, that completes his rear bumper look. And now you get a vehicle that doesn't even really look like it would transform. It's just so clean. And then from the bottom, also very clean, like really impressive engineering. So yeah, I've definitely come around. I got rid of all my Transformers Prime figure just because of the quality control. And APC Toys, I feel like, has just made these figures even higher quality than they originally were. So I highly recommend it. I'll put the link in the description. I paid, after shipping, this was about $46. So they're not cheap. They're not cheap knockoffs. You actually get what you pay for. Yeah, but I still highly recommend it. And I'll see you in the next one.